in the evening. I am
Yeah.
currently I'm talking about some of the sayings that I heard over the years through whatever source. It could be a book, a talk, or a conversation, a dialogue. So whatever that made some meaning to me, I'm bringing here. You know, like today's.
You've always brought value, my friend. You've always been the one to.
Yeah, yeah. But these are
Yeah.
sentences that got value to me, so I wanted to share with my friends.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So, like this, today says, fall in love with life and contribute to life.
Fall in love with life and contribute. That's true. You
Yeah,
know, I boy, that makes a lot of sense because there's a lot of people that I think are just living to live, but they're
yeah,
not really in the present, right? So
exactly.
I don't. You can hardly say they're contributing, right? They're not
Yeah,
contributing to life because they're not really living it. They're just kind of like walking in the footprints, right? But
yeah,
not really doing anything to
yeah,
add to their. Boy, I had
yeah.
a wake up call the other day. I'll tell you about this. I had high glucose,
Uh-huh.
and so I went in and man, I don't know if you ever heard of this. My glucose is close to 700, man.
Wow.
So I went to the hospital for 5 days, and I got an IV, and now I'm back down to where I need to be, and right about 120, in that range.
Good,
And
good, good.
I bought what's called a CGM. I don't know if you know what
Yeah,
those are.
continuous glucose monitor. Yeah, that's good.
Yep. So
That's
I bought
good.
the Abbott Freestyle 3 or Libre 3
Yeah.
system. So every I just track it, and so it's kind of a psychological note to say, okay, what is this going to do if I do this? So
Uh,
we went to Costco today here in Honolulu or in Hilo
hmm.
in the island, and I walked around and it went down like by almost 50 points
Yeah.
just by going to Costco. Can you believe that?
Yes. Just walking is very good for diabetics, Bob.
It
You
was
just,
weird.
yeah, you walk in the morning, walk in the evening, and that would be very good for you. Okay, at least,
You know what?
yeah.
You know what was also what else happened yesterday? I was over at the Marriott, right over at
Hmm.
the Marquis, and I went swimming the whole day in
Yeah,
the pool and in the ocean. Yes,
that's pretty good.
my blood pressure went down
Hmm.
20 points last night. How is that possible, bro?
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
No, it is actually very good exercise to swim. Actually, it is body is lighter in the water, and so you can do much more exercise, and it's a relaxing exercises that are pretty good for the body. So actually, I did like a lot of study on how to reverse diabetes with lifestyle changes. One of them is
Yeah.
walking, another one is swimming.
Well,
And
what's it? Oh, go ahead. I was just going to tell you, the day before on the fifth, I have a charting program that I got from my health insurance, right?
hmm,
And so the day before I was at 148 over 93.
hmm.
Last night when I charted after I went to Marriott, just kind of hung out, 110 over 78.
I see.
Is that crazy?
No, no, not even putting the arm in certain way can give you the changes. So what you need to understand is blood pressure is better when you relax and when you do things. It's not about the how you do things, but it is about how much relaxation you incorporate into it. So whatever you're.
You know what's interesting? I wasn't even thinking about it. You know how when you like obsess with something,
Mhm.
like with the CGM. At first, I first got the CGM. I was like, okay, well, I got to be really careful because if I go over this or whatever. But whenever I just quit worrying about it, like when I was here, like
Mhm.
because I'm here, I couldn't believe what happened yesterday.
Mhm.
That was amazing. I couldn't believe that those were the results on CGM.
Yeah, but don't be too obsessive about it. The important thing is
Exactly.
the
Exactly.
behavioral change, and then don't make it like this is a cause for your worry, because what happens, some people pay attention to the numbers and then they get worried and then it goes up again. So what is important is the parameters. Consider the normal and the range. You want
Did
to be.
you said parameters, right? So
Yeah,
my
parameters.
my parameters are baselined at 80 to 200, but it really never hits 200
Yeah,
anymore.
yeah.
So basically, 80 as a baseline is what I try to stay at according to
Hmm.
the CGM, right? And then 80 to
No, CGM is not supposed to dictate to you. CGM is supposed to give you monitoring what your highest is, what your lowest. And then you got to take an inference of it and then change your behaviors.
And I did. That's what's interesting because this might like the A1C, bro. It was almost 12.6.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah. So
So
it's 700.
now, if you extrapolate the CGM data, the CGM shows like 5.8 on the glucose, or the 5.8 is the aggregate, right? Yeah. So once I hit 90 days, I'm probably going to break that A1C in down to minimum of 6, right? I mean,
yeah. Below 6 is good. Usually below 6. 6.5 is also okay. But beyond that, it tells you that the blood sugar on an average is running a very high rate. So what it is every 3 months only you can check the hemoglobin A1C. That gives you how average the blood sugar had been. It's not going to tell you how it is going to be in the future, but how it had been. And that gives you a warning like you are running the blood sugar very high. But then you got to understand what's the blood pressure metabolism, what is the muscle resistance to the insulin, and what is the ways of to really improve the efficiency of your pancreas and thereby secretion of the insulin. And also
here's a question for you. But they put me on this regimen of, they have two types of insulin. They have the glargine, which is the long acting, right?
Yeah.
And they had me on that for 40 units at night, and then during the day they had the Lispro, which is 20, or no, excuse me, I think it was 10, 10, and 10. And then on top of that, metformin. So I mean, that seems overkill, and it was overkill, and it caused me to gain like 10 pounds, man.
Yeah.
And I was like,
basically, no, Bob. Basically, your pancreas is shot. See, after a while, by indulging in this kind of too much carbohydrate dumping, we do cakes, we do donuts, we do bread, and all that, right?
So will it fix itself, Dr. Rao? Will it fix itself, you think?
Yeah, because I have done it. I have made with a lot of my patients to do it, because you got to have a progressive change. You cannot have bad diet when the thing is not functional. So you got to get it back to functional, and that's where I'm telling you have to do simple toning exercises that will increase your better insulin resistance rather than low. You have to lower it. Then whatever insulin you have will be utilized properly. Okay.
So what if I just quit the insulin? Because I think I was put on a
no. Suddenly you should not quit it suddenly. Right now you're exhausted, so you got to use that and incorporate the lifestyle change slowly, and then slowly within a year or two you can stop to cutting down the insulin. Suddenly you should not do it, because right now you are not going to be operational unless there is insulin giving from externally. And that's
does putting insulin in your body cause your pancreas to heal itself and start?
No. Pancreas is not functioning. That's why you don't have any functional insulin. That's why you have to take it. Okay.
So how do you fix that? How do you fix it? What do you do?
Yeah, there are a lot of things you have to do. Anyway, consult me, Bob. I will guide you. Okay.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Hey, Darnie, so you can see. Sorry about that. Yeah. I was just talking to Dr. Rao. I'm here in Hawaii, and I was just wondering why my blood pressure. I went to the pool yesterday,
yeah,
and my blood pressure went down from the day before. I was just looking it up. Yeah. It went down from 148 over 93 down to 110 over 78 in one day, and that I've never heard of that. And that's why I thought of Dr. Rao last night. Okay. If that was even humanly possible. And he says, just by, relaxing. So that's amazing.
Yeah. You have been running high blood sugars probably. That's why you are able to handle that. But still, it's not good,
I got you.
Anyway, we'll talk about it later.
It's a pleasure to see you today. So what's the topic of conversation?
Yeah.
Fall in love and contribute. Gotcha. Okay.
See, what it is 3 things you can think of when I'm talking about falling in love with life means, are you in touch with the present moment? That means, are you living in the present, or are you living in your mind of the past or the future? Or you're worried about things and all that, And then celebrate whatever you have, the good things. Be joyful, be happy, be sharing, be gratitude and grateful for things that you have. That is really being appreciative of the life as it is providing. For example, we are up and about in the morning, and a lot of people don't get up. because they kind of pass off. So just being awake itself is a good thing. You can do it extremely like that. And also all the things that you have, relationships and everything. And the thing is, you got to celebrate the relationships. How much energy are you putting into them so that you can make a difference with whoever is coming in contact? Then you are really in life, not in pursuit of your own goals and all. They're okay, but then are you really in life? Are you
You know
in
what?
this moment?
You know when I think about what you just said. You know, if you think about relationships,
Mhm.
what about limiting it to say that the relationships are mutually beneficial and not the takers? Because if you hang out with takers all the time, which you know, we've talked about this
I
before.
will come to
It's
that.
just going to drain you.
No,
You know?
no, no, we'll come to that because this attitude about uh, giving something without getting anything in return has been happening for the modern man.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
See, there is a one particular important insight is to the flow of life. That means life is continuing, life is nourishing, life is, for example, we're contributing to the planet or we're contributing to somebody's growth and all that. That contributes to life requires that you be sufficient within yourself. And when your cup is really full, you don't want anything from anybody and you can give very easily. That kind of culture was there, and we kind of lost because we were focusing on external achievements and really making a living or accumulating a lot of degrees. They are all okay, but in themselves they won't be fulfilling. So you got to realize at one particular time, okay, this is not it. This is something internal that I have to search and find out and be really in that perfection or forever fulfillment that is there. And once you have touched that kind of life, that means the life source within you, the consciousness, the being, you have to get in touch with that. But if you are lost in the external activities all the time, don't taking any time about reflection, don't taking any time about what I'm doing, how am I happening. For example, the blood sugar that could be high in a 20, 30 year old because he's not balanced in his diet. He's not exercising. Also, he's eating more of carbohydrate because the restaurants are always serve everything like that, the bread, the pasta, the pizzas, and all those things, right? But then people who eat some vegetables, fruits, and then also eat some pizza, pasta, and also they have active life, walking, they won't have that. That balance is lost when we are really elevating the money and the other things that we are making as the main thing, and then people are lost in external activities and they never look at themselves, what's going on within themselves. That is what I was learning from this one, because when they explained what is the life, what is the present moment life, what is the quality of relationship, what are the things that you have that you could appreciate, you can be very happy with what you have, and then enjoy and then make more. But then making more itself is my need, then you are missing out on something. This happens time and again. I see a lot of people completely lost in external pursuits at the cost of their being, and then they get burned out, they're stressed out, or they have these health issues. Then they may wake up and they may want to correct, and then they may want to come back to it. So people like me always come out and they talk about, for example, proactive wellness. I have been talking about this for last 4 months. You got to be proactive about being well. That means you got to know what's going on within you. So you have to know your blood chemistry, you have to know how your symptoms are, you have to know what is the cycle is going wrong. Are you appropriately eating according to your body clock? All those things are important. Are you resting enough? Simple things people don't do because they are lost. They got lost in the external excitement of getting something, but then they may be losing out their health sometimes. That's what happens to many executives. They don't have time for self-care. They think it's
Dr. Rao, I just want to say, because I know we're going to have a lot of listeners on the back end.
Yeah.
So the people that are listening, I met Dr. Rao right when this app started, and my thing is during COVID, we were all kind of put in a box and told to stay home for the country and all that. But one thing that Dr. Rao taught me was that to literally go out and spend time outside.
Yeah.
Don't be computerized where you're spending all your time, looking at a screen. And I've been teaching, so I do seminars around the world, and I tell people, I said, just take time for yourself.
Yeah.
And go out and sit with a tree and go spend time for you. Go for a walk. Go do something that clears your mind. I think. Would you consider that contributing to life in the current moment, Dr. Ross?
Definitely,
definitely. Is that a good way to put it?
Yeah, definitely, because there is life around us. If you only open to it, that will come to you too. Actually, I made a couple of videos on forest bathing, where you go and walk in the forest without really talking much in your mind. Just really expose yourself to the senses, all the wind and noise of the leaves and the color of the flowers of the grass, whatever. Then actually there are some chemicals that are released by the trees that are good for the human physical chemistry. That is there too. I put all that in that videos. They're on my YouTube channel probably. So forest bathing is something executives need to take on a daily basis. Work. Have your digital, like I do that. I do videos, I do talks, I do seminars, I have Zoom meetings and all that, right? But I never lose touch with nature. I have some contact with the, see, roses on the back, and then when I see something in front of me too, and then when I listen to the music and all those things, you got to get away from that chattering mind at least a little bit at a time. Then
can you tell me, if you wouldn't mind, like some of the things that you over the past, let's just say over the past couple of years, maybe some of the things that you're doing different now to giving yourself time whenever, to have time for you, because with your practice, I know you have a practice and employees and all that stuff, just like we do. But I know you've really taken it deadly serious to.
I have.
And as we age, I'm 54, and man, if I don't do it, nobody else will. But tell me some of the things maybe in the past 2 years what you decided to do to draw a line and say, okay, it's about me.
This daily routine was there, but I'll mention that because this is also being in touch with life, so appropriate for this topic also. Get up in the morning. Don't open any of the devices. That's what I do. I don't open the devices right away, right? I give some time to orient myself to see where I am, what is going on, what's going on with the weather, what's going on with the plants I have, what's going on with the pets or the living beings and all that, okay? Be here and now. Don't let the minds escape into some kind of planning for the whole day or for the past. You can come to that later, but first establish yourself in the present moment. That's what I do first. Then I do deep breathing. That helps much more. And then I do the yoga session with my students, and then I kind of teach them because they also come with problems. They want to learn and so many different things. I spend time with them. That is live. And I'll tell them, be here and now in this 1 hour. Don't let your mind go to other bills, but all those things, whatever problems you have, put them away for now. Okay, that becomes a habit for them. And then when they go to do their job or duties, whatever they have, they can focus on them with a present sense. They always establish in that. And then because of the deep breathing makes you calm and quiet, you can carry that like a perfume for the entire day. Then what I do is I kind of, after the bathroom and all that, I go to the work. When I'm going to the work, there also the discipline is I don't want to do multitasking. I do one thing at a time, but I do so many things very well because I focus on that. Okay, throughout the day is that, and also I'm very grateful for everything that comes my way. Somebody calls me for a consult, I'm grateful that they asked my help. When I see a patient, when he comes around, I'm grateful. That's something I cultivate through the day. And it becomes not a problem, but a privilege to be able to help somebody. Okay? That's why we are lucky doctors. And then I have other things I do too, informatician and talks and education. And I teach about wellness so people can take care of themselves better. All those activities are there. Then I write, I produce movies and all that. That has become my latest passion. So that is helping a lot. And then when I have the lunch also, I have it in silence most of the time. If I'm in a meeting at lunch, I usually don't eat. I only concentrate on the meeting. After the lunch is done, and also I don't eat just because of the time of the hour of lunch has come. I only eat if I'm hungry. That means I'm in touch with my body clock. It tells me when to drink water, when to eat food, when to rest, and when to sleep, right? And then when I come back home, usually a yoga session where all the junk that I accumulated during the day will be dumped off. And then you kind of focus on whatever you're doing, the breathing, the stretching, the things that you feel in the body, all those things will be attended to. Then that session itself makes you really feel good. And then we go out, we go with the family, the movies or whatever we do. They are done in a certain way where the quality of time that is spent with the family is more important than the actual event itself. Okay. And then in the evening, before I go to bed, I do something called what is called vacate my mind. Don't sleep on a lot of things in your mind. Go through the things that you are going in your mind at that time and write them down on a paper or a device and forget about them for the night. Pick it up in the morning. So that gives you your mind to relax well and also to restore itself. The purpose of sleep is to get your body revived, to get your cellular mechanisms revived, to get your sleep, which is a functional need that has to be restored. And that gives the mind tremendous power to do the stuff later on. So this is an ongoing thing. The culture has evolved such a way that will make us spend all our energy unnecessarily. What I do is I keep my mind in awareness, in silence most of the day. It did not come just like that. You got to understand this, you got to practice for years, right? But you can start somewhere, and then once you start doing it, you feel so much good, and you will do it more and more. Okay, no, you don't need anybody else to do it. If you do properly, then you will be doing that. So in my wellness club, I teach them all these things, and also when they come on the Zoom, I know how they are looking, what they are doing, how they are doing. I can correct them. Okay, that wellness club is something where I discuss a lot of health issues, a lot of wellness issues. Many people come with this completely stressed out, completely burned out. Then we take them through a course, or they can participate in that, or they have questions. They can come to rooms like this and they will ask me. I tell them, but it's a internal change that you have to bring it about by working on it. It's not like a tablet somebody gives you. They can enlighten you, but you got to understand, you got to implement them daily. That means you have to really revert all the bad habits that we have accumulated with care and kindness and compassion to ourselves. Don't blame yourself. Suppose you are smoking, I don't blame the guy. I kind of help him why the weakness of not quitting the smoking, what he can do. And most of the time, people are very responsive. And if you handle them with kindness and compassion and love, they will accept the change that you are suggesting because you don't have an agenda about your own thing. You have an agenda about helping him to help himself. So that kind of things I do every day. Anything else, Bob?
Oh, I have there's one question I had, and you and I have talked about this, Dr. Rao, is when I first started listening and talking to you, it's like, the things that you talk about are, it's kind of like a math puzzle, right? I mean, you do this, 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 and this, but then we have the issues of life that just jump in the way of the progression. And so I think it's it's not a matter of, you have to know how to really face the issues as they come.
Yeah.
So you're not, I tell people, otherwise you're living a firefighter life, right?
No.
All you're doing is you're going from one fire to another to another
Yeah,
to another.
exactly. So
And that's a dangerous way to live life. What do you think about that, Dr. Rowe?
You catch one thing, Bob. See, I'm a person who have studied both the ancient way of living, modern way of living, right? But I am here and now in the modern times living, so I understand the problems of modern life and the, our lack of awareness of them. So once we understand them, we can take the modern medicine and also ancient wisdom, combine them so that our lifestyles can be improved. That's all what I'm doing. Personality works for me when I share that the spirit I share with them too. Being a physician, I want my patients to be well long time, and also their life should have some fun and joy, and they are really spending their years better, not just existing as a vegetable, don't have any energy to do things, right? So yeah, then you simple thing is you get to understand we are so developed scientifically, we have so much money spending on healthcare, but how come many of the patients don't have the outcomes that we desire? Because they don't take those issues so you got to take it very serious. Suppose you are getting bankrupt, you take it pretty serious. But if you are getting bankrupt in your health, why don't you put the same energy? At least in the beginning, you have to understand, you have to develop this. This is a health system problem is they attend only to the illness and get you better and send you back to the same circumstances. What I am saying is that's not enough. That's essential, that's needed. But also understand why I have to spoil my health like this. What is that I'm doing in my life that is making me like this? Just study that, don't be judgmental, but then develop a plan on the long run what you can do daily. That can, if you are not able to shut off the devices, then take my course on the detox. The digital detox is there, where one of the things I do is give it a holiday, like a few minutes every day.
Hey, Dr. Rob, will you put that link in the top on your digital detox
Oh,
for your program do you have on that? Because that was a really good one. I really enjoyed that.
yeah, but I think that's some of them are on YouTube, some of them are in a library and all that. I don't have access right now, but
Okay.
I did them. You can go back the talks.
I was just going to put in a link for people that are listening in the future. That's all.
No, you can go back to the talks. Replays are always there, so they can find that on there too. I did one called Solitude of Mind, which is a very 3 minutes exercise that people can do very easily in the morning and in the evening. So there's so many topics I discuss, but this is one of them I discuss. Okay, or you can also uh, go to my YouTube channel, is Ravu Kolisu, and then you can find that there too.
That is awesome. Thank you.
Okay.
I noticed we have Darnie on stage.
Yeah.
I just want to say hi to her. How are you, my dear friend, today? How are you doing? What's on your mind with Dr. Rao today? I guess today we're talking about falling in love, or falling in love with life and contributing to life in the now.
Yeah, I'm not talking about romantic love. I'm talking about life itself. A lot of people are not aware of that, and then they kind of get lost in the past, get lost in the future, or they're lost in their head, basically.
That's right.
What I'm saying is,
say welcome to Prasad too. So if you guys want to have anything to say, just simply unmic and feel free to talk to Dr. Rao. He's a worldwide acclaimed speaker, influencer, and he's a medical doctor. So he has an answer to a lot of things. And if you understand holistic health and you're going through a lot of stress right now, there's probably nobody better in the world that I would want to talk to than Dr. Rao. So if you have any questions, feel free to put them on or come on the replays and leave a message for us.
Prasad is also a regular. I see him once in a while here. So he will come up when he wants to, probably. Prasad, you are welcome to come up. So I really just go on giving whatever I want to share. And if there are questions, I will be more than happy to answer, provided they are related to the topic. Otherwise, other people, maybe not interested in that. But that's a good question. What I do daily to be in life is basically be in the present and be grateful and keeping eye aware of what's going on both within me, outside of me, around me. And then really seeing the quality of relationship is improved in whoever I deal with. So that those are the three things. If you do them, that will be really being in life, here and now. What is happening here now? I will give an example. There was this group of friends gathered together around a sage, and then he's supposed to be pretty wise person, so they come to him for guidance, for discussion. He doesn't give things just like that, but he lives, and then he kind of explains when they ask a question and all that, but also always asking, inviting them to investigate by themselves. So they were sitting in this group and somewhere, and they were having a lot of discussion, very serious discussion. They are lost in that intellectual argument about something. And suddenly, this man was not talking much, and then he suddenly kind of straightened out, a sitting man, and he was very excited, like, they all thought, oh, something very amazing is going to come out of his mind, which does sometimes. But then he says, mangoes, fresh mangoes. And somebody from India sent me him mangoes. They're coming, and some guy carried in a basket and bringing them in the corridor, and he smelled them. See how present he is here and now, right? And then all these people are lost in their mind, but he is not. He is here. He was persistently kind of displayed that. He talked about being in thought versus being in perceptive mode. When your superficial mind is calm, you are quiet, your real ability to perceive things comes out. You may have some analysis with the intellectual thought, but actual act of doing anything where your mind is calm. Okay, even the scientific discoveries are made when your chattering cognitive mind is silent, and the insights happen uh, through that extraordinary intelligence that surrounding us, within us, and all that. So if you repeat things, you are not intelligent. But if you invent things, if you discover things, then you are working with that intelligence. So that is what happens when you are in touch with the life, with the trees, with the nature, with the river flow, with everything that you are there. Don't look at them with a chattering mind. Look at them silently. No judgment, no conclusion, but just for what it is. So that is a big deal in philosophical circles. What is sacred. That's a famous saying. What is sacred. Everything else is put together by our artificial thought, and which is okay with the scientific objective study and getting some conclusions using for improvement of life. But how about the inner life? Are you worried? Are you anxious? Are you depressed? Are you building up this in your mind by persistently thinking about things? Or are you giving it a break? I'm a great believer of shutting down everything and taking rest in my mind, at least a few minutes in the morning. Few minutes. Now it has become a habit for me all through the day. I don't have to make a special effort. I am in awareness, then I use conscious thought. There's a difference. But if you are in thought all the time, you are never aware of anything. But only when the crisis comes, then you wake up and, oh, yeah, I have to pay attention. Otherwise, you will be lost. So cultivate this awareness first, and then conscious thought, because thoughts happen to you. You don't happen to thoughts. People get lost in the thought, and that's why they are not touched with what is going on around them. So be aware and use the conscious thought, then you are in touch with the life. You are in touch with, actually, that is life, isn't it? Thought past is gone, future is not yet here, but what is here and now, life is present. So there's a big deal being in the present, being aware of things, and being aware of this chattering mind, and cultivating a style where you can do meditation and calm that thought down. Don't allow this to go. The more you think they're smart. That's not really smart at all. The more you think, the more you need to rest it up. Then it functions better in shorter time. So once you understand that, it's very easy to be calm and then do stuff in calmness and then not be swayed by the chattering box. They look like a very difficult thing. Yeah, they are. They are very difficult, like in the beginning. So even that guy, Prince Arjuna, who talks to Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, he says, this thought is like a wind. It goes all over, everything goes. I think, Bob, you are very familiar with that. But it's like a wind going all over. So how can I do this? Then he said two things. Number one is you got to practice. Number two is you got to develop some detachment to the things that you don't need. See, what I see in the modern man is anywhere in the world right now is they don't have much detachment to things that are really not important. You know, Vairagya, they call it in Sanskrit, that they don't have it. They want everything at every age, however you do it. And that's why they get caught in these circles. Prasad, you have anything to say? You want to come up? Somebody put it here.
Well, this clubhouse itself is one such thing that I know it was a useful thing a couple of years back. I find it like it's a detachment I'm not able to get out of. Right? There are two types of clubhouse channels. One is where you just listen. There's a music or something else. Just listen. Nobody disturbs you. You keep doing your work. And there are other ones where they're interactive. They want you to participate and they keep calling your name and that kind of things. Right? I want to stay out of that kind of things when I'm doing something serious. I'm still struggling with that. Okay? Honestly. That's a problem. That's a detachment thing. How? Detachment. I like those people. Maybe I love those people because I've been interacting with them for 2-3 years. But it doesn't get me anything. Nothing new, nothing. It's just that we get that happiness. Okay.
See, the ancient wisdom has this matrix for that. They talk about first realize what is real and what is not real, what is permanent, what is not permanent, what is trivial, what is important, what is long-term gain, what is short-term gain, like that. Okay, that is called discrimination, viveka. That's the first quality that you want to develop, and you want to analyze what is important for you, what's not, and all that, right? Then you got to develop detachment to the things that you consider not important to you, and you don't have to engage with it. Like, for example, emails are there. So many emails come, right? And why do you have to respond to the emails, everything as they come? Instead, put it like a couple of times in the day, like half an hour, 45 minutes. Then you go through emails and also focus on what is important, what is really you are trying to receive. I kind of open only the emails that I want to deal with. So like somebody has a meeting today at 1 p.m. I am looking for that connection to the Zoom that they promised me they were sending me. I'm looking only for that. Thousands of other emails I conveniently ignore. That kind of viveka, that kind of discrimination is there, then it will be much easier. Nowadays it's very tough because information overload. And that's my specialty, right? I kind of train people about information because I'm an informatician. You want to get the good, wise information, not everything under the sun, right? Suppose I'm following this Congress, the information about shutting down the country debt ceiling and all that. They have to do it. They're in big trouble now. They're going to shut down the government, it looks like. I'm going to follow that important story in CNBC And that's why I'm connected with what is going on in the political economic circle. Like that, rest of it, all the gossip, all the things, they don't interest me. They are celebrating on other people's follies, so I conveniently ignore them. So that kind of viveka, vairagya, which is a detachment. And then you cultivate certain qualities to quiet your mind and to be away from all the their noise. That's very important, and also you have to have some kind of what's called shraddha. That means technology is not going to resolve the human problems. We can see that, we can see that time and again, right? But then people don't develop this attitude about let's be humane, let's be internally oriented and really satisfied with what we are as human beings. That's kind of foreign to many people. Once you cultivate that, then with your own mind turned inward, you study within yourself, and that is the one which really makes you get in touch with who you really are, and that is very fulfilling self. Okay, once you are there, then you'll be able to really enjoy life because you are having your cup completely full, so you don't need anything from external time. That is missing in modern times because people have not placed value on that, so they place value on something to sedate yourself in the form of liquor or smoking or whatever, and they don't sedate you with this nectar of wisdom that is there within all of us. Anyway, this is a fall in love with life and contributing to the life is very important. Then if you are in love with the life that is within you, then you don't want to anything anybody to do for you, but you are going to contribute to the common good. And once you are there, then you develop empathy, compassion, goodness, and all that, love also. So it's like a full cup, and that can give to everybody else. Great thing, this ancient wisdom. If you go and study and adopt them and apply them in your life, I think that they go a long way. Okay. So there are some people are here on the wisdom. Anybody wants to come up and have any questions? I'll be happy to talk to you about it. Julie, you're there. I have not talked to you in a while. John Bush and Mary, and so many people are here. Marianne. So, I usually plan like a half an hour to 45 or 1 hour max, if people are having questions and all that. I think I need to say what I need to say for today. I'm going to make a movie on this because there are so many things came up to me, and I was trying to develop a script so that people can see it. It will be published on my YouTube channel if you guys want to see it. Okay, Prasad, I will see you again tomorrow, and thanks for coming up, and I will talk to you later. Okay.